And now we're live. Now we got it going. So hello. By the way, let me just remind everybody a couple of things. First of all, happy Saturday to you wherever you are. I appreciate you guys being here. Well, thank you very much, RCD. Thank you. And so this is the Sacred Division, the weekend edition. Yep, I'm friends with Zach. And so our show, for those of you who don't know, our show airs on the Sacred Division Friday nights. It's our paranormal shows. And what happens oftentimes is we have so many articles that I put together, we simply can't get to all of them. So it's kind of like the weekend show is a continuous show, really, a Friday. And so that's what we're doing here on Saturday, our wonderful Saturday, wherever you are in this world. Hopefully it's good, and hopefully you're staying comfortable, because here in Kentucky it is dangerously hot. But you know, that's I guess that's what we have, isn't it? Yes, in subscribers, only subscribers can chat. That's correct. And sometimes we do that when the trolling gets so bad on TikTok. I'm like, okay, I'm done. I'm finished with it. And when that happens, then I put subscriber chat on, and I'm finished. I don't allow people to coming in and bullying other people or bullying the chat or bullying me. Not going to allow it. I don't allow it here under any circumstances whatsoever. So, yep. Hopefully we don't have to. We'll see how it goes. But unfortunately, regrettably, I say this: we've not been able to do a show yet where we've just had chat on for everybody. We have not been able to have one. Not one show. Not one show. Not one where we just let everybody chat. Not one. And I've been here for 5 years. Not one. So, yeah, I'm addicted to AC too. I tell you what, the problem is we do block the trolls, but the issue is the moderators then don't get to enjoy the show because we are blocking so much that the moderators can't even enjoy it. And it's exhausting for them too. And they want to enjoy the Friday show. They want to enjoy the Saturday show. And they want to enjoy the Sunday Bible study. We have to put subscriber chat because if we don't, oh my gosh, the comments. But anyway, okay, so happy Saturday to you guys wherever. Please stay warm, stay hydrated. Let me tell you something. And no, I'm not sponsored by this company. I love this. For those of you who don't know, this is, well, it's pretty much, it's Gatorade water. And I buy this, well, Judy Ann gets me these things, the things that have this little, I love those things. They have bigger ones. They have a really big bottle, like for $2 at Walmart. But I really like these little Sprout things that come with them. I really like that a lot. Guys, this is Gatorade. Yeah, it's Gatorade water. And friends, I'm telling you, it tastes like, I love Deer Park water. I love Deer Park water. It's one of the best waters, I think. It tastes like Deer Park. There's no taste to it. And what's great about this is there's no sugar. It's complete. It's Gatorade. My mom was in the medical field. And this is, by the way, this is something to let you guys know. So my mom always told me that when you're really dehydrated, if you get one large bottle of Gatorade, that's the equivalent of having one bag of IV fluid in the hospital. Just something for you to know. And she was in the medical field. So I drink this a lot. This is calories none. Sodium only 65 milligrams, nothing, no carbs, no protein, no fat. But it's Gatorade, electrolyte infused water. And it's really, really inexpensive. You can, like I said, you can get a big bottle. It's a big at Walmart for, and even there's other places besides Walmart, Gatorade water, a big bottle for only $2. And they're amazing. Artificial intelligence. No, it's artificial. No, not artificial intelligence. It's electrolyte infused. Oh, you talking? So yeah. Anyway, I'm not in Minnesota. I'm in Kentucky. I'm in Kentucky. So, but yeah, this really is fantastic. I encourage you. Get some water and make sure you stay hydrated. I am not hydrated today. I've been running nonstop. I've had so many errands. I went to Miss Wilma. I'll give you an update. Hello. Well, hello there, Hypnosis for Success. There's my buddy, everyone. Now look, here we go. I just pinned my friend, Hypnosis for Success. Luke, make sure you follow him. If you're on TikTok, follow him. I am taking, I'm excited about this. I am taking his classes on how to become a certified hypnotist. And what I like about Luke, he's a straight shooter. I like that about people. I like straight shooters. I like straight shooters. So I'm so excited about it. So if you guys, if you're thinking about, you want to become a certified hypnotist, and there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong. It's not demonic. It's not evil. It's not. There's a lot of people I have gone through hypnosis therapy before, especially when I was dealing with my anxiety in 2015, where I was 420 pounds because I was dealing with so much stress. And so that helped me tremendously. So I encourage you, friends. I encourage you. It's not a quick, fix. That's not what it's about. And then it's no magic involved, but it is really powerful. So make sure you follow my friend there, Luke, and take his classes. They are unbelievably detailed. I was impressed. I've got a long ways to go. There's a lot of videos. I'm thinking, I looked through, it was like, oh, how am I going to get through this? But it is about empowerment. And isn't that what we all want? There it is right there. Hypnosis for Success. There you go, friends. I just pinned, for those of you, make sure you follow him and sign up. For those of you, it's Hypnosis for Success. It's Luke on TikTok. Really is fantastic. Yeah. Okay. Luke, tell me what, put in there if you can. I know you can't go a www, but tell me what your, hold on. Tell me what your, the website is again. So then I can tell all the friends on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, Rumble, and the Spreaker and all that other stuff. So yeah, Bishop Hypnotist Exorcist Podcaster. There you go. So yeah, that would be good, Luke, if you could do that. And then we can let everybody know that. See, and even B says she's a nurse, and hypnotherapy is a powerful, amazing tool. It is. It is. So, okay. All right, everybody. So welcome to the show. Hello and welcome. I appreciate all you guys being here. I really do. I know there's a lot of things you guys can do on your Saturdays, but you chose to spend some time with us, and I appreciate that. In this community, we built a community where we lift each other up. We do not hurt each other. We do not use our words to break each other down. We don't tolerate that here in any way, shape, form, or fashion. Now, this is a community where we can rely on each other, depend on each other, pray for one another, and just be able to have a conversation without judging and being hateful. In this community, we have all walks of life, every one of us. If you are a Christian, you're welcome. If you're conservative, liberal, you're welcome. If you're a moderate, you're welcome. If you're a Muslim or Jewish, agnostic, it doesn't matter. As long as you're a good person, you're kind, that's it. Like, Wilson here. Wilson, I'm actually going to report you and have your account banned now for TikTok's. Matter of fact, everybody, I want everybody to, what we need to do is next time that happens, I want you to pin comments like that. And then everyone needs to report so that we can get that person blocked. So TikTok, because we're not going to allow that. We're not going to allow that. Again, a very derogatory comment. I'm telling you now, TikTok, if this bullshit continues and people keep coming in here and spreading nastiness, I'm telling you now, I'm putting sub chat on for the rest of the night. That's it. I'm not going to put up with this. I'm not going to put it. Again, it's about a child fly. Once again, someone making a very derogatory comment about a child. I get this every time I go live. Every time I go live. So I'm telling you, I'm done. I'm done. I'm not gonna put up with it. It's every time. I'm sick of it. Okay. Yeah, him as that own a church and organize. Oh wow. That's pretty cool, Mark. It's very cool. Okay. It is the devil. It is the devil. So just block them, everybody. Just moderators, just block them. Okay, let's get into our sponsors' website, because I really want you guys to do this, okay? Yeah, Stephen, what's going on? Let me just make this clear. The trolls don't intimidate me. Not at all. Never, ever accept criticism from someone that you would not go to for advice. Never. So I do not, well, thank you there, Dan. I do not, I won't accept their criticism. I won't go for them for advice. So, okay. Everyone, let's go. We got to do this. I want you to go to this website. Hold on, everybody. KG, moderators, if you could put that in there, that would be great. KGRAD as in dog, B as in bicycle.com/shop. Okay? So it's KGRAD as in dog, B as in bicycle. Oh, well, thank you there, Spicy. That's very nice. See, I love comment. That's very cool. KGRADB.com. I'll answer your question in just a second. And then I want you to click on the shop link. Okay. Now, guys, this is really important, okay? Make sure you click on my name. And then there's a lot of amazing items there. Please purchase them. Please purchase them. And I'm not asking you to purchase them for my benefit. Now, I own the Sacred Division. I've had it for 23 years. It's a podcast show that I've had. Every dollar, every single dollar, thank you very much, Aquarius, that we receive that would normally go to me as a community, we are going to donate that to the MKS Kids Foundation. It is in Africa. They are an orphanage. They are a beautiful organization, and we want to help them. So I encourage you. Our sales are pretty low, and I get it. You know, it's things are tough right now. But if you can, please go to kgradb.com and click on shop. Okay? And then click on my name. And there, just make sure you purchase everything. 100%, like I said, 100% of what I personally would make. And I say we, because you guys are buying it. We are donating to the MKS Kids Foundation. And they're right here on TikTok. You can find them. They're just, you know what? People say, well, you know, again, well, why are we helping them? Why aren't we helping America? We can do both. This is not an either or. And so I think this is a beautiful thing that we're doing. Thank you. And thank you guys for ordering. Those of you who have ordered, thank you very, very much. For those of you who have told people about the site, thank you as well. But let me just say this clearly. Being a Christian, you should never look at either or. That's not how we do this. You know, I've talked about this again. The kids in the orphanage in the United States, you know, they have good food. You know, they can go to drinking water. They can have clear water. But I've talked about this many times. You see kids, in some parts of Africa that have very large stomachs. It's not because they're full. That's because parasites are in their body from the drinking, from bad drinking water. But that's all they have. So I just think it's a beautiful thing that we're doing. And if people don't like it, I don't care. That's what we're doing, and that's what we stand firm on it. So anyway, go to kgradb.com, click on the shop, and you'll see my name. And there we go. And just order. They got brand new St. Benedict items, beautiful St. Benedict items, by the way. St. Benedict is the patron saint for exorcists and police officers. So, okay. So there we go. Appreciate you guys. Also, well, actually, I am Native American. My grandmother, my grandfather were both Cherokee. So nice. Always got to dig at something. Always got to dig at something. And if you want to go to my website, you can go to bishopjameslong.com. bishopjameslong.com. If you're really bored and you have nothing else better to do, we do. Thank you for asking there, Emma. We have Mass at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Sundays. It only airs on TikTok. I just can't run it all the others. So it's just too much. So hello there, Robbie. So it's at 6 p.m. Sunday. Okay. And then don't forget, tomorrow we have Bible study at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard. And for those, I think they do, Jax, I think they do. My mom, my Cool Bananas, my mom on my mother's side was Irish. Yep. And don't forget, Monday through Friday, we have night prayer at 10 p.m. Eastern. And then Monday through Friday at 6 p.m., we have the rosary. So we have a lot going on. Everybody says, you don't ever do Bible study. Well, obviously, they don't know us, and they're just too busy to judge without knowing. Only 2 days a week is it more for entertainment. The rest of the week, we devote to Christ. And even on Fridays and Saturdays, we're still devoting it to God, no matter what. Okay? So there we go. Right now, we're going to leave the chat on for everybody on TikTok, as long as people are cool. That's all we ask. All right, so let's get into our presentation. Now, yesterday we talked about, I did a lecture on near-death experiences. Near-death experiences. And every Friday, I always do a presentation, usually a paranormal, something of this nature. And now, if you need help, let's say you're needing paranormal help, you think your home is haunted, whatever it might be, this is what you got to do. Folks, people are contacting me on all my social media platforms, and I can't keep up. So if you want me to help you for free, which I've been doing for 25 years now, then we require that you do one simple thing. Go to bishopjameslong.com and click on the paranormal link. That's it. And then a member of the Society of Saint Benedict will reach out to you, and we'll go from there. That's how we work. Okay. All right. Let's get into the first of all. Before we get into all the articles, I want to talk about the Labubu dolls. I have been doing research on these Labubu dolls, and I got my hand on one of these Labubu dolls. Because so many people were talking about them, and they've been asking me over and over and over, are they evil? Are they demonic? What's the story behind it? Should we have it? Whatever it might be. Okay, I know that no matter what I say, people are going to disagree with it, or they may agree with it. I don't know. Either way, here's what I have found on the Labubu dolls. Okay. First, are they demonic? I have found nothing that would indicate to me that these are demonic. I'll tell you why. There was all these claims that people went on social media, imagine, and started spreading these false claims. The claim is that they're demonic stems from a misunderstanding. Misinformation spread online. The dolls were created by Ka-Sing Lung as part of his Monster series. This is inspired by Nordic folklore. In no way, in any way, shape, form, or fashion, did he try to create these things to be demonic or evil. And here's the rumor was, people were saying that they compared these Labubu dolls to the demon Pazuzu. And Pazuzu, as you see, obviously is on the Exorcist movie. However, depending on what culture you speak to, Pazuzu wasn't always evil. This is actually, I think, it's not accurate at all. It is 100% inaccurate. Ka-Sing Lung stated that the Labubu is inspired by Nordic folklore. And it's meant to be like a mischievous, kind of a kind-hearted character, but not demonic. No, Pazuzu is a demon from Mesopotamian mythology. Labubu is based on Nordic folklore. So based on what I have seen and all the information that I've seen, I have not found any evidence at all to connect Labubu to the demonic or to the demon Pazuzu. I've not found anything to see this. And I have studied it. I can't find anything. Yeah, it's a real demon. But I just haven't found anything to validate this. And look, if it was, I would tell you. I don't have any skin in the game. So if I truly believed it was evil, I would tell you. Now, what happened is a lot of people went on social media, and what they did is they created AI videos and tried to compare and say that, that every time one was created, there was one video said that there was a chant that the creators did this chant of this one particular demon, and that it's all attached to the lesser key of Solomon. Guys, I have not found any truth in that at all. I just haven't. And there was no evidence whatsoever. It is based on Nordic folklore. That is it. I have not found any connection, and I'm willing to listen if there's legitimate logic. I'm not talking about sensational nonsense, because not everybody thinks they're an exorcist or thinks they're an expert in demonology. It's like, well, how long have you studied demonology? Well, I never have. Then how do you know it was based on any type of demon? I think I think it's not so much culture. I think it is people hyping it and trying to get likes and trying to get clicks, clickbait. Because right now, Labubu is a hot topic. And so what people are doing is they're going all over social media and they're trying to connect these dots, saying Labubu is connected to this demon, this of ancient Mesopotamia, and there is nothing there. There is no connection. So anyway, and if I truly believe that there was, I would tell you, but I have not found any connection. Now, I'm not telling you to go out and buy it. I'm just simply saying there's no connection. Well, it's actually still in a box. I haven't opened that up at all. But believe me, I'm sure, I guarantee you, it's going to be a matter of time before someone sends me one of these Labubu dolls telling me that they brought it home and then demons attacked them and all that. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. So yeah, the unboxing. Yeah, no, I don't know. I'll leave it. I'm going to leave that. Well, yeah, I studied for the Roman Catholic priesthood actually for 6 years, received my minor orders. I have studied demonology since I was 9 years old. I devoted my entire life to this study, and I was validly trained in demonology. And I serve now as the church has served as an exorcist, and I perform 33 documented exorcisms. And what I do is I talk about my experience, what I have seen, and some of the things that are hype that are simply not true. Yep, I agree, Emma. I will repent, and so should you, because you just came in here and judged everybody. Wow, nothing like Christian love, huh, Emma? Wow. Anyway, yeah, it's not a matter of if the Labubu brought the best or the worst out of people. I think people just are sensationalizing that, sensationalizing it, and that's a shame. That is a shame. And by the way, Matthew chapter 7, verse 2 says, you're going to be judged in the same manner you judge others. So for those of you that continue to judge, you're going to be held to the same account. You need to be aware of that. Okay. All right. If you want to go to the church, you can go to usocc.org. We've explained that, and it's all there. All right. usocc.org, everybody. I'm not going to keep it. usocc.org. It's there. Just go there. All right, listen to this. This is a very cool article. And do you exorcise for people in your area? That's a good question. High Hopes. Actually, so I've been doing this for 25 years, and I go. One of the hardest things about this ministry is I never charge. I don't charge at all. And I don't receive a stipend or salaries being clergy in the old Catholic Church. We do not receive a salary or stipend. So we do this ministry 100% free. We fund our own ministry. So that a lot of people will charge $5,000 or whatever it might be for an exorcism. I don't charge at all, never have. And so for me, it's not always the easiest to do it that way, but that's the right thing to do. But yes, I have gone to other states when obviously there is a situation that I've got to get there. I've got to get to that location. So, you know, and some of the cases are when I first started, I didn't have a network of team. So. Of your intellect with him. Well, right. But when you come in and you tell people to repent, you got to kind of calm down with that, because a lot of people come in here and telling everybody to repent. I understand what you're trying to say, but rather than the first words that come out of your mouth is repent, perhaps the first thing that come out of your mouth is, hello, everyone. How are you doing? I hope everyone is having a great day. You see, that's a big difference between, hey, how are you doing? Versus coming in, repent. People have had the Bible constantly used against them in many, many different ways. And they're getting kind of tired of people just being judgmental. That's it. Okay. Well, then you're welcome here. You're welcome. Everybody's welcome here as long as you're just kind. Listen to this. This is by TK Rando. This is a cool article. Very cool article. Listen, thank you. Listen. Volunteers run into Bigfoot during a search for a missing girl in Arizona. Listen to the story. A group of volunteers who had been searching a remote area near Sedona came across something unexpected. So according to a report submitted to the Bigfoot Field Researchers Organization, BFRO, the incident occurred back in June 15th when a woman named Amber, along with her husband and cousin, ventured out into the wilderness to help find a girl who had gone missing in the area. Well, the group had gone around 20 miles down a dirt track after dark, and they had been using a spotlight to help illuminate their way when the beam shone onto something large standing nearby. Okay, yeah. The radio show, well, Helen, it's a KGRAD as in dog, B as in bicycle.com. KGRADB. So the creature, by the way, was described as 7 feet tall, at least 400 pounds, had a wide body and shoulders. Its eyes reflected a golden color. Its face was described as leathery, and it was covered in hair. The group stood there staring in horror at the creature for several minutes before deciding to run. Fortunately, the girl who they thought had been looking for was later found safe and sound. But, you know, she did have her own story to tell. Yeah, hold on one sec. Guys, let me, I'm trying to get through this article. She told rescuers that she had been very spooked by something in the undergrowth. And that caused her to panic and run away, resulting in a tumble off a cliff. She also described seeing glowing things moving around and toward her in the darkness. So could her ordeal have been sparked by an encounter with the same creature? Fortunately, we'll never know. But there we go. That's people ask me, do I believe in Bigfoot? I do. I do. And people can say, well, that's just nonsense, and that's fine. They're allowed. They have their opinion. There are too many people. There are way too many people who are experiencing this. Way too many. And because of that, I think there's something legitimate. Oh, Tammy says here, you live in Packwood, Washington, lots of Bigfoots. I've heard of this. I've heard Washington has quite a few reports. As a matter of fact, for those of you who are new, several years ago, I interviewed a game warden in Alaska. Now, this is a native Alaskan. And he came on the show. He's not selling anything. He's not trying to appear on, a television show or anything. And I remember asking him, I said, well, could you have, and I told this story many times before. I said, could you have mistaken this Bigfoot as perhaps maybe a bear or a moose? And I'll never forget what he says. He says, I am a game warden in the state of Alaska. I am a native Alaskan. I've lived in the woods all my life. If I don't know the difference between a Bigfoot and a bear and a moose, then I should not be a game warden in the state of Alaska. He wasn't trying to sell anything. He's not trying to sell a book or anything. So there's no ulterior motives. So I don't know. There is absolutely something going on. I don't know. It's kind of interesting, isn't it? Okay. You live in northern Canada. There is a Lake Superior. Oh yeah, I live at the top. Documentary on here. Bishop. Oh, real interesting. You have to let us know what that is, Monsar. Well, thank you there, Cool Bananas. I appreciate that. And keep in mind, for those of you who are new, this is what we do. On Friday nights, we usually have a paranormal show. And then I have a lot of articles. But because I do a lecture on Friday nights, I don't get to the articles. And so Saturday is kind of like an extension to the Friday night paranormal show. And then Sundays and Wednesdays, Bible study, 8 o'clock Eastern. No, we don't worship idols. We don't worship saints. No. But nice try again. A lot of judgment. It's a shame that people go through their whole entire lives judging other people. That would be a terrible way to live. Knowing that you just go around constantly judging people. It's terrible. I'll pray for you. I will. Yeah, of course. Okay. That's right. 19. All right. Yep. So there is a Bigfoot. Anyway. Yeah. It's interesting, isn't it, that they run into this? By the way, I certainly will, Bianca. Listen to this. This is a very interesting. Oh, I did find this out. Everybody on TikTok, if you are a TikToker and you run a live, I have found something out. There are a lot of people spreading misinformation. Imagine. You can play music in the United States while you are live on TikTok. You must look at what it said. Europe is the one that made the law that if you are in Europe, you cannot play any type of copyrighted music while you are live. You cannot. I spoke to the agency that I'm with to verify this, and everybody was spreading all this information. Oh, you can no longer do it. Yes, you can. That is only for Europe. Europe, you're not allowed to anymore. You're not allowed to play any kind of copyright music when you're live. Absolutely not to, because you can actually get your account taken away. But in the United States, that's not for us. Hello there, Bill. Nice to see you, my friend. Nice to see you. Listen to this. This is also an interesting article that I found that I want to share this with you. Hello there, Dr. Campbell. A pair of campers with binoculars report seeing a Bigfoot in Washington State. So this is very interesting. This is by Tim Banal. A pair of campers in Washington State could not believe their eyes when they looked through their binoculars and spotted what appeared to be Sasquatch. The unique case was reported to the Bigfoot Field Resources Organization by witness Ryan Snyder, who explained that the sighting occurred on June 26 while he was camping with a buddy in the Owenechee River. As the two men relaxed that evening, he recalled their conversation came to a sudden stop when his friend noticed something unusual across the river. Well, grabbing their binoculars, the pair was stunned by what they saw. So recollecting the observation, Snyder marveled that they caught sight of a bipedal creature, that means you're standing on two legs, standing around 8 to 10 feet tall and sporting very dark reddish-brown hair that covered its whole body except its face and its hands. The pair were understandably awestruck as they passed the binoculars back and forth, watching the mystifying figure as it moved branches and other brush around. And upon getting a second look at the suspected Sasquatch, Snyder said that it turned its face toward him, revealing a very ape-like view with a flat nose. Oh, Carson can't be a normal human being. Anyway, chillingly, it would appear that the possible Bigfoot also noticed the two campers as the creature scanned across the river with its eyes and seemingly saw the pair, which prompted it to quickly flee the scene, still on 2 feet. Expressing regret that he did not have his phone with him, Snyder indicated that he hopes to return to the location, having weirdly fallen ill the day after the sighting, to look for any possible evidence of the creature. What do you think about this, guys? Again, another Bigfoot story. People are talking. People are talking. And they're seeing. All right. Oh, and by the way, we're going to do one more Bigfoot talk. And then we're going to, we'll cancel that out for the rest of the night. Hey, Bigfoot, we got to talk Bigfoot sometimes. It's okay. This is by T.K. Randall. The cryptozoological stalwart will be represented, Bigfoot, by its own emoji. Usable on all emoji supporting devices, friends. So if you love Bigfoot, well, here you go. Fans of the alien, flying saucer, and ghost emojis will be pleased to hear that another unexplained themed edition called Hairy Creature. So, what? Anyway. Okay. So listen to this. So it's called Alien. It's called Hairy Creature. Yeah. I've been nice to Emma. I told you, Emma. I told you she was a troll. So although it isn't explicitly called Bigfoot, the new emoji is unmistakably inspired. Well, thank you very much. By the creature seen in the controversial 1967 Patterson-Gimlin Bigfoot video. It's interesting that its creators have chosen a generic title like Hairy Creature, perhaps to best represent the various different Bigfoot-like creatures reported to exist all around the world. Well, in Australia, for example, the creature is also known as the Yowie, while in the Himalayas, it is the Yeti. And there are dozens of variations, and a generic hairy creature emoji basically covers them all. So no doubt it won't be the last cryptozoological emoji to be added. So if, in fact, friends, if you like cryptozoology and if you like Bigfoot, well, there we go. Now you have your own Bigfoot emoji. That's pretty cool. Oh, thank you, Cool Bananas. I appreciate that. Yeah, you can go to, there is Cash App. It's that $sign thing and then my name. So that's very nice of you. Thank you. All right. Pretty neat. That's pretty cool. Okay. Here's another article. And I'm going to get to your questions, guys. But what I do, for those of you who are new, I normally do this presentation. And there we go. Well, I don't really care, 19. Anyway, because I wasn't referring to you. This is by T.K. Randall. Can I buy replica of your badges, or are they earned? Which Bananas? Which badges are you referring to? Cool Bananas. Yeah, Cool Bananas has been pretty cool. Your two purple ones. I don't know what you're referring to. My two purple. Hold on, help me out. Help me explain this. On your jacket. Oh, no. No. This is my Mensa. This is my Mensa membership. And this is my Episcopal. This is a bishop lapel pin. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, no, This is my Mensa membership and my Bishop lapel pin. Okay. All right, this is interesting. A new Canadian federal report calls for public-facing UFO reporting agency. It's commissioned by the Office of the Chief Science Advisor. The report highlights flaws in the current UFO reporting mechanism. Well, imagine that. Yeah, but see, the Nephilim actually, a note for me, that's incorrect. When you look at the Septuagint, actually the translation, it means fierce warriors. The whole idea that the Nephilim, and I've talked about this many times before, the Nephilim were not offspring of demon and women. That is incorrect. That is 100% incorrect. And I can prove it because the Bible says so. 100%. First of all, Jesus said angels neither marry or procreate. Demons are fallen angels. So that in of itself destroys the argument that they were the offspring of demons and women. Incorrect. The Nephilim, it's fierce warriors. Remember, Genesis chapter 6, verse 4 clearly says that the Nephilim existed before and after the women had relations with the God of, or the sons of God. So therefore, they could not have been the offspring of demon and women, because Genesis chapter 6, verse 4 says that they were already in existence. And also, you're referring to the book of Enoch. Even Paul had to address this in 1 Timothy chapter 4, verse 7, where he said, stop arguing over endless genealogies and foolish myths. He was referring to as the Nephilim, because in the book of Enoch, it has this huge genealogy all the way going back to Satan. So it is a clear 100% indicator just by Paul alone. So it was just to sell a DVD, guys. That's all it was. So no, they didn't go underground. The Nephilim in the Septuagint, Nephilim means fierce warriors. It has nothing to do with offspring of angels and women and demons and women. It doesn't. And again, I've already told you, Genesis chapter 6, verse 4 clearly states that the Nephilim existed before and after the sons of God had relations with women. So the sons of God could not have been demons. I don't know. See, that doesn't sell. There's no sizzle there. See, when you tell people, oh yeah, demons had relations with women and they had children and it was the Nephilim, that sizzles. You see what I mean? That you can get likes that way. You can get clicks. But it's preposterous. Preposterous. The sons of God were the children of Seth. Any rabbi will tell you this. And Seth, by the way, was the third child of Adam and Eve. Guys, how does that have to do with me talking about this? Okay. I'm going to do my articles. That's how I do this show. And then afterwards, if you have questions, just write them down and we can kind of go from there. Okay. So anyway, what I was saying, this is by T.K. Randall. A new Canadian federal report calls for public-facing UFO reporting agency. Okay. With UFO transparency high on the agenda in the United States in recent years, it was perhaps inevitable that its neighbor Canada would also seek to improve its approach to the UFO phenomenon. Well, to this end, thank you. To this end, a new report has been published courtesy of the Sky Canada Project, an initiative set up by the Office of the Chief Science Advisor of Canada, for the purpose of reviewing current practices surrounding public reporting of unidentified aerial phenomena. Okay, now, by the way, UAPs it's kind of like that's what's being reported now. Thank you, Roxy. UFO is kind of an outdated, people really don't talk much about UFOs. It's more UAPs now. And the report highlights the fragmented nature of Canada's UFO reporting mechanisms and call for new federal framework to manage sighting reports by pilots and members of the public. Now, ultimately, investigating UAPs calls for interdisciplinary and international collaboration, the report states. The first goal is to increase government transparency on UAPs, potentially reducing related conspiracy theories and misinformation. Second, setting up clear and efficient reporting systems for UAP observations will greatly simplify the process. Here's the deal with the UAPs. There are far too many people, there are far too many professionals that see these UAPs. Now, people are going to say, well, I don't believe in aliens. I don't believe in UFOs. Okay, fine. Okay, that's your right. Then what we have to talk about, well, I absolutely believe that there are alien life. I just cannot. Do you understand? First of all, I'm a nerd. I'll be the first to admit it. I went to space camp as a kid, and I loved it. So that tells you, right? I'm a huge space nerd. Let's make that clear. Do you know that if you traveled 42,000 miles per hour from Earth to Jupiter, it would take you 10 years? 10 years. To Mars, 42,000 miles per hour, 3 years. Now, that's in our solar system. But our solar system is so limited. It's so small. It's a speck of dust when you're talking about the entire universe. Now, and keep in mind, by the way, I don't think a lot of people know this, but Rome, the Roman Catholic Church has an observatory. And actually, the observatory is quite impressive. I'm not sure if you're aware of this. And the chief scientist, if you will, that is in charge of the observatory is a priest. And he absolutely believes there is something else out there. Even to the point where, Pope Francis had to address and say it doesn't invalidate one's faith if you believe that there's alien life. There are too many people reporting something. There's too many people reporting seeing these UAPs or UFOs. There are far too many people. Experts. There's a medical. Not medical. I'm sorry. There are people who are pilots, people who are fighter pilots, people who are in the military. So there's a lot of people who are experts that are seeing something, and these are the experts. These guys are and women. They're in the fighter pilots, the best planes in the entire world, and they are reporting some type of object that is flying faster than the A-16 or the F-16 fighter fights. So, right, yeah. And there was, I think it was in the 80s or 90s. I'm thinking it was 86 for some reason. But in Japan Airlines, it was really interesting. They saw something rather incredibly large. It was a 747. And this metallic object was so massive and it was flying in patterns that was something that just bewildered the captain who had been flying for 40 years. Now, back in the 80s, when you reported, seeing a UAP, unfortunately, or a UFO, that wasn't really taken seriously. And a lot of pilots at that time they didn't report it. They just didn't report them. He was so shook up by that experience that he made an official report with the FAA. And he wanted to make sure that they knew that he saw something that he could not explain. And again, this is a captain, 40 years, and his pilots saw the same thing. So when you have a captain that's flying a 747, and they're seeing an object that is flying around them in ways that their plane couldn't even do, I think we got to pay attention to that a lot. So it's very interesting. Speaking of UFOs, by the way, listen to this. Yeah, well, look, we just simply don't know. Are they from another planet? Obviously. Are they from another Milky Way, a galaxy? There's so much debate as far as where they could exist. We don't know, but people are seeing something. Now, I'm not, I don't know. I think when we immediately just say, nope, that's ridiculous, it doesn't, well, then you have to explain what they're seeing. You have to explain why then an F-16 fighter pilot can't keep up with a particular flying object that not only is flying so fast that the most advanced radar system can't even keep up with it. And not only that, but this item goes into the water and goes out. So, if people say, well, I don't believe it, then it becomes your responsibility to explain what those things are. Because if it's flying in, if it goes into the water and it comes back out of the water, well, that is an intelligent design behind this. Perhaps, but I mean, when you have an F-16 fighter jet, by the way, there was a pilot who went to on the Hill, Capitol Hill, who testified in front of Congress about this. And he's a fighter pilot, and he said we couldn't keep up with this thing. They had a hard time. They had a hard time even with their technology, their radar keeping up with this. This is one of the most advanced fighter jets in the world. It's very interesting. Yeah. Listen to this. This is by T.K. Randall. For those of you who are not aware of this, UFO enthusiasts and researchers are now planning to use meditation and telepathy to summon an alien spacecraft. Hold on. Hold on. Yeah, it's called the pill. That's right, Cool Bananas. Yeah. Listen to this, guys. This is interesting. The unusual event will take place later this month in the Deshmont Woods near Livingston, Scotland, at the site of one of the country's most chilling UFO incidents, that involving forestry worker Robert Taylor, who encountered a strange object while walking in the woods with his dog in 1979. See, at the time, Taylor recalled witnessing a large metallic craft in a clearing before being approached by metallic probe-like machines, which latched onto his clothes and caused him to black out. And upon awakening, the UFO had vanished and his clothes were torn. A later investigation revealed strange markings in the grass where the object had been. Now, in an attempt to summon the UFO, a group of enthusiasts, including investigator Malcolm Robinson, will be journeying to the very same location to enact a technique. It was venom. A technique developed by Dr. Stephen Greer, known as the Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind Protocol. Anyway, the method involves using a combination of telepathy and meditation and relies on the notion that the entities in question exist beyond three-dimensional space. Similar sessions conducted elsewhere have seen participants report a sense of oneness. Well, thank you very much, Cool Bananas. Thank you. A sense of oneness with the cosmos and the feeling of an extraterrestrial presence. He says, quote, "We are trying to bring any off-world craft into our airspace," said Robertson. "There's a desire to bring forward these objects to which people claim to be UFOs or UAPs. And the meditation will send out a desire for open contact." Whether or not they'll make contact, well, that's yet to be seen. But nonetheless, it is there. Yeah, it's, who knows? I got to talk to a book called, there's a movie too, by the way, Fire in the Sky. Have you guys seen that movie? I don't know if anybody has. It's called Fire in the Sky. You've seen it. It's also, there's a book too. Travis Walton. So I got to meet Travis Walton a couple of times, and I spoke to him as well. Here's what I'm going to say about Travis. I talked to him about, this experience, and could it have been maybe a hallucination, or could it maybe he just, whatever it might be. He looked right in the eye, and he told me exactly what happened. after I had a conversation with him, I truly, I believed him. I really believe that he experienced something. And it's not, and here's what's really interesting about that case. I think there were 3 other of his buddies actually saw this situation take place. They actually saw it. Hello. So what I mean by that is they saw this, whatever it was in the woods, and he went out to it. He looked up and his friend saw it. It was beaming him up into the sky. And they freaked out and they took off. They took off. They were that frightened. They came back. He wasn't anywhere around. They couldn't find him at all. Yep, that's one, Patrick. And what was interesting is he came back, and when he did, I think like 3 or 4 days later, completely nude, and he called in the payphone, and he asked, he told his friends, look, he struggled. I understand they also took, all of them took a lie detector test. Every one of them. And they all passed. They all passed. Yeah, but, yep, Patrick, you're right. At first, they thought that maybe their friends, his friends had done something to him, and then, concocted this story about him being taken up by aliens. But they all passed. Now, see, that in of itself is pretty amazing, because inevitably, if somebody is lying, you're gonna, not everybody is that good of a liar, to be honest with you. So, and you have all 3 of them passing with flying colors, as well as Travis. So based on, it was amazing. Yeah. I have Polish Prince. So Polish Prince asking, have I ever seen a UFO? I did. As a matter of fact, I talked about this one time. It was really fascinating. At that time, some friends said, Bishop Long, you need to get out there. You need to get outside. And I was like, well, what's going on? This was in Louisville. They said, look in the sky. You will see it. So I ran out of my house and I looked in the sky and I saw some object. I don't know what it was. It was kind of on a distance. I used to work for an airline, so I'm very familiar with planes and the sound and what kind of plane it was. There was no noise to it. There was no auxiliary power unit. There was nothing. There were no engines. There was no propulsion. There was nothing. I couldn't hear anything. And it flew right up. I mean, it wasn't very far from me. And then I saw a Louisville Metro Police Department helicopter chasing after this thing. And I know it was a Louisville Metro Police Department because I was a chaplain there, a police chaplain. And so I saw the LMPD, the Louisville Metro Police Department helicopter chasing after this, whatever it was. And it stopped. It like hovered in midair, but it kept like it looked like it was spitting out, looked like to me, like red orbs. Red orbs. It was just red. That's what it looked like to me. And the helicopter was really close to it and was just hovering around it. And this whatever it was took off. I mean, it took off so fast in the blink of an eye, it was gone. Now, here's what was really interesting. Of course, this was such a profound experience that we went, at that time, it was online radio. And we were at a paranormal radio network. That's all it did. It's paranormal 24/7. We immediately went on air and said, look, we saw this. We don't know what it was, but we saw something. And, well, yeah, therapist talks. And so I saw this. I clearly saw it. Well, it was about, I think, a year or two later. I was flipping through the channels. Thank you. And I think it was the Travel Channel. And they were interviewing the Louisville Metro Police Department, the pilots in the helicopter. They had a show and they were interviewing these pilots, and these pilots were talking about what this thing was. They said they couldn't figure it out. It was flying in a way that was not known to them. It was really odd. And they said absolutely, unequivocally, they said it was not a plane. but they did said it was a metallic object. And they saw the red orbs that was shooting out of it. They couldn't keep up with it. For the little metro, the LMPD police, the copter couldn't keep up with this thing. And the fact that it stopped and it was shooting out these red orbs. Oh, this was been a while ago. Gosh, how long ago was this? Let's see. Let's see. Chases UFO. 1993. Yep, there it is right there. So, 1993. As a matter of fact, it says here, I remember this. Yep, the Louisville UFO dogfight. So 1993, well before recreational drones were a thing, two experienced police pilots took the helicopter out for a routine patrol around midnight when they encountered a glowing pear-shaped orb the size of a basketball. According to the pilots, the orb appeared to study their helicopter, circling around it, abruptly ascending at an estimated speed of 600 miles per hour. The incident wasn't over. The orb reappeared, circling the helicopter again. When the pilots tried to evade, it gave chase. And that's when, according to the pilots, the witness on the ground, the UFO shot 3 baseball-sized fireballs at the helicopter and disappeared. That's what I saw. Yep. It was crazy. It was crazy. But, yeah. Yeah, I'm not for sure. We'll have to ask Mr. Producer about UK. I'll ask him about that. But it is fascinating. It is fascinating. Speaking of the UK, this was in Louisville, Kentucky. Yep. Listen to this, guys. TK Randall says this: Scotland may be home to the world's most famous cryptid, but what do people from the UK think about it? So if you stroll along, the shoreline of Loch Ness in the summer, you are sure to find great number of tourists who have come from all over the world for a chance to catch a glimpse of the elusive monster. British people themselves, however, are not quite so enthusiastic. And according to a new YouGov survey, only 3% of those who live in the UK believe the monster definitely exists, while a further 9% think that it probably does. Anyway, by contrast, a whopping 52% think that Nessie definitely doesn't exist. The survey also looked at some other phenomena as well, including ghosts, with only 12% being certain that ghosts exist, 32% being uncertain that they don't. Oddly, the second most convincing thing in the survey was witches with magic powers, with 6% remaining adamant that they definitely exist, 53% being adamant that they don't. And then finally, while 3% also believe that werewolves and vampires definitely exist, these also saw the largest percentage of doubters, with around 70% of respondents maintaining that neither are real. So it looks like the folks in the UK are not so open to the idea that vampires and werewolves and Nessie exist. And that's fair. That's fair. Oh, that's interesting. Monstar says they saw what looked like a helicopter light. So they thought it was through our window blinds, and it started to get dark. Got up and told her to come back, and it wasn't a helicopter. Oh. Willie Windwalker Gibson talks about that experience too. Oh, you know what? Listen to this. Is a very interesting article. Speaking of, someone was asking about AI. TK Randall wrote this. Listen to this one, guys. A new autonomous robot is now capable of swapping out its own battery. China's new Walker S2 humanoid robot is capable of working out without human intervention almost indefinitely. In news that has certainly been raising a few eyebrows this week, it seems that autonomous humanoid robots no longer need to stop and recharge. They can now keep going 24/7. Designed by Chinese company UB Tech, the Walker S2 has a novel feature that completely removes the need for it to go into sleep mode while its batteries recharge. Instead, it simply walks over to a battery station, recharge station, removes its own battery, places it in the charger, then picks up another fully charged battery and slots it back into its own body. The mechanism basically enables the robot to keep working without ever needing to stop. To make this possible, the robot actually has two batteries so that when it takes one out, it can keep functioning long enough to put a charged one back in. The Walker S2 is mainly designed for performing tasks in factories or for interacting with members of the public at venues. Suffice to say, being able to change its own battery means that for the first time, we now have a robot that is almost entirely autonomous. That means providing it has a working battery charging station to use. See, this is a problem, isn't it? Because, the Terminator. Well, the one thing that I think one of the most important elements to this article is this. And the Walker S2 is mainly designed for performing tasks in factories. It's inevitable. It is inevitable. These robots, these S2 Walker, or whatever you want to call them, these humanoid robots, they seem to be on the rise of removing people from working positions. And there are people that are legitimately concerned about that. Because when you have robots that, don't get tired and they can work 24/7 and now they can change out their own batteries, well, they don't need breaks. So Annabelle never escaped. That was a nonsense. It was a stupid article that someone wrote just to get clickbait. Annabelle never escaped, ever. Just some fool making stupid videos and people believing it. Right, Vet Billy, right. So I don't know. That's orbs. Here's what I have found, and this is just me. I have found that orbs are anybody that would make a comment about hurting a child is a sick, perverted person, and I'm going to report you, and I hope your account gets blocked. What a sick, demonic person. This gross. That makes about, 5 people already making comments about me doing something terrible to a child. See, this is the type of stuff that I deal with on a daily basis. Daily. How would you guys like it? Every single time you go live, you're accused at least minimal 5 times of harming a child. Disgusting. It really is disgusting. It gets old. That to me, that is when I would prefer to take my collar off and give them a Kentucky backyard ass kick in Louisville style. Because some people need it. Okay, this is a very interesting. This is by TK Randall as well. All right. They're dirty, rotten, life egg sucking dogs. A former Area 51 worker is claiming colleagues unalived by invisible enemy. It's like, what in the world? It's kind of, well, I think anybody that wouldn't be upset when someone makes a comment about hurting a child, if you don't get upset about that, then you're the problem. You're the problem. That should be Every single person should be like, that's gross. You shouldn't even be making, even if you don't like the man that you see on the television, on the screen, you shouldn't yet still saying something like that. Vet Billy, I'm getting tired of people saying ignore them. Like I said, every time when we go live, I deal with this every single time. Every time. And if it doesn't bother you, that's an issue. It bothers me because it is an abomination. So, but I get what you're saying, but I think there are some things that it's like, Now that makes me mad. So, well, they should be reported. And actually, patience. No, I don't have patience for that. No, I don't have patience for that. Never. That's right. Bind them to their sin. There you go. Okay, listen to this, guys. A U.S. Air Force veterans, by the way, thank you, Dusty, have claimed that they were unknowingly exposed to radiation while working at the facility. Now, that is, guys, that's kind of crazy, isn't it? According to the group, hundreds of workers who were once stationed at the Nevada Test and Training Range, a highly restricted region of the desert, which is also home of the secretive Area 51 facility, have since passed away of serious illnesses caused by exposure of high levels of radiation. Nuclear testing during the 1970s is thought to be primarily responsible. Despite the risk, a 1975 report from the U.S. Energy Research and Development Administration allegedly concluded that it would be, quote, against the national interest to put a stop to the work being conducted at the site. So anyway, compounding the frustration of those impacted by radiation exposure at the site, the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs is reportedly declining to provide medical coverage. Come on. That's not right. It says here, because owing to the classified nature of the operations conducted there, all relevant official records remain restricted and sufficient evidence of exposure cannot be provided. Anyway, David Crete, a former Air Force sergeant who worked at the site in the 1980s, maintains, Uncle Bean can't be a normal human being, imagine. Anyway, David Crete maintains that over 490 of his colleagues have since passed away and that he too is now suffering from various health complications. It says, even today, much of what these men did at the site remains classified, which I understand that. Said it's just a matter of betrayal. Veteran Mike Nimick told News Nation. I don't know. I understand. Look, I understand it's here's the problem. If you're going and you're working and you're in the military and you're working at a site that is restricted, that, okay, I get it, intelligence, but you should still provide some type of medical coverage for these people. I mean, my goodness, we clearly know that if they're working in this, I mean, we now have plenty of evidence and data that shows that people are passing away from radiation exposure. You don't have to declassify what's going on there, but you should at least give them coverage. I don't understand that. That doesn't make sense. Yeah, that's not right. That is not right. But some people, I mean, it just, I don't know. Yeah, just do the right thing. I mean, you don't have to tell everybody. Now, this is a very weird story. I got to share this one. I need to do more research on this one. Let's see. I'm trying to find the publisher. And I can't find the publisher, but listen to this article. Bangladesh. This is from Bangladesh. This is crazy. The body of a passenger who passed away mid-air on Turkish Airlines flight has reportedly gone missing. A mystery as a man passes away on a flight, but then completely disappears. Flight TK-79 took off from Istanbul and was in the air for almost 12 hours when a passenger had a severe medical emergency, July 13th. The unnamed individual passed away while the plane was flying over Greenland, with the decision being made to carry on to Chicago in the United States. And this is because Chicago O'Hare had a suitable medical facility to deal with an in-flight death, according to Aviation A2Z. However, after touchdown, the dead body seemingly disappeared. Turkish Airlines say the corpse was removed from the plane and transferred to a flight to San Francisco. So the New York Post is reporting. But the local medical examiner's office told U.S. media that it never received the body, according to San Francisco news site San Francisco Gate. The county cook office also does not have records documenting the death or confirming a transfer. The remaining passengers continued on their way to San Francisco in a separate flight. No more information has been released about the identity of the person who passed away on board flight TK-79. So Metro has approached Turkish Airlines, Chicago Airport, and Cook County, the medical examiner's office, for comment. Mid-air flights are as rare as 0.21 deaths per million passengers. So in March, a woman passed away on an EasyJet flight from Tenerife to Liverpool, despite the efforts of passengers to try to save her. But anyway, there is no one knows where the body is. It just seemingly disappeared. I mean, how can you? That's kind of strange. But yeah, it's a little weird, isn't it? I don't know. There was an article that I saw that was also very, very interesting, and I wanted to talk about this one. You're right. Yeah, it's kind of. We have got to do some more research on this one, because when I read this, I thought, okay, this is strange. This is by Zoe Mitchell. A Baltic Sea anomaly discover hints at new groundbreaking find. In July 2025, Dennis Asberg, co-founder of the Ocean X, known for discovering the Baltic Sea anomaly in 2011, announced a new, potentially groundbreaking discovery. In a social media post, he described receiving data that is incredibly big and hard to accept, stating, quote, "I've just received some data that is so incredible, I'm at a loss for words. I wish I could share everything right now, but it has to come from the right source." Anyway, he added, "It is true that this is an incredibly big discovery, and I had a hard time accepting all of this." Well, Asberg is working with astronomer Dr. Beatrice Villarreal, who studies unusual objects in astronomical surveys, on a formal paper to reveal his finding. He suggested the data is so significant that it, quote, perhaps shouldn't be disclosed to humanity, but provided no further details. Separately, the Society of UAP Studies announced support for a new expedition to study the Baltic Sea anomaly, mysterious 21-meter wide circular object that is found 92 meters underwater. Discovered by Ocean X during a sonar scan, the object has sharp edges and a dome-like top, with a nearby trench suggesting movement across the seafloor. Divers reported equipment failures near it, as diver Stefan Hagenborn noted electrical gear and satellite phones stopped working nearby. The new expedition, funded by a grant, uses advanced tools like multi-beam sonar and 3D modeling to map the object without disturbing it. Well, this organization, led by Dr. Dr. Michael Sifon emphasizes a scientific approach, ensuring data integrity and public access to results after analysis. The team includes marine geologists, robotic engineers, and other experts. This new discovery and the Baltic Sea anomaly expedition are unrelated, though public interest has linked them. I would encourage you to go online and look and type in Baltic Sea anomaly. Yeah, but this is an actual anomaly. You can actually see it. The Baltic Sea anomaly is a feature that is visible on an indistinct sonar that's taken by Peter Lindbergh. There is some type of, I mean, I can take a picture of it, but you guys can look at it yourself, but it's very peculiar. It to me looks like it created something. That's what they discovered. There you go. There's something there. That's pretty crazy. So if you guys have not, I would encourage you to type in Baltic Sea anomaly. Kind of crazy. All right. All right. So we're done. We're done for the most part. If you have some questions, we can jump into a few questions. And okay. By the way, for those of you who like beer or drink beer, I've never really liked it. I don't drink. This is by T.K. Randall. A man had seemingly fallen on hard times, was eventually found surrounded by empty beer bottles. Wow. The unfortunate situation came to light when rescue workers were called to a property in the Banchain district of Rayon, where the 44-year-old man identified had been discovered by his 16-year-old son having a seizure in his bedroom. This is in Thailand. When the rescuers arrived, they found him unresponsive and surrounded by over 100 empty beer bottles that had been arranged on the floor with a narrow path open between them. According to his son, the man had refused to eat anything, even when meals were prepared for him, and had instead consumed nothing but beer for over a month. Sadly, there was nothing the rescue workers could do to save his life. It is thought that a recent divorce was responsible for the man's descent into an alcohol-fueled oblivion. That's sad. So, unfortunately, he passed away. The moral of the story is you can't live on beer. Sorry. That's pretty sad. Okay. We'll just go with this one. Yeah, not even down. People, it's interesting what people will do. I have seen Heaven is for Real. Yeah, it's a good movie. Good movie. So listen to this. Ben Hooper wrote this. Men attempt a record by popping balloons between their bodies. Well, okay, serial Guinness World Record breaker David Rush unofficially broke a record when he and a friend popped 10 balloons between their bodies in 7.5 seconds. Rush, who has more than 181 Guinness World Record titles to his name, originally teamed up with his friend John and Hollywood Hannon and popped 10 balloons between their bodies in 15 seconds, enough to overtake the previous record of 17 seconds. No, these are men. The duo soon found their time had been beaten by Colton Shepard and Cameron Severson, who popped their balloons in only 11 seconds. So Rush and Hannon made another attempt at the title, managing to get their time down to 7.5 seconds. Evidence from their attempt must now be reviewed by the Guinness World Records before it becomes official. And these are men. Yeah, they're grown adults. So, hey, okay. I mean, this guy loves breaking world records, and his name is in the Guinness World Records. So, I mean, okay. I was like, oh, that's interesting. Yeah. And finally, we're going to talk about this because a lot of you guys like scary movies. No, I don't think we're all meant to know all the secrets, but we will when the good Lord calls us home. So, okay, well, we welcome everybody. Everyone is welcome here. We just ask everybody be nice. That's it. No matter who you are, just be nice. So let me tell you a couple of scary movies that are coming out, and then we're going to get into some of your questions. How's that? There are 16 horror movies that MSN, Jamie Levine, says, can't wait to see. So here it is. July 18th, the new movie, I Know What You Did Last Summer. No, be nice. Yeah, be nice. Yeah, be nice or else. Yeah, we're just going to block you. The next one is July 18th, The Banished. The Banished. There's a movie called The Home, July 25th. Pete Davison plays a man working at a retirement home where nothing is it seems. The residents harbor deep, dark secrets. The building itself seems to have a sentient mind as well. David's a character, attempts to uncover the truth behind this home, as well as discover things about his upbringing as a foster child. So it's The Home. Oh, Jason can't be a normal human being. On July 25th. Together, July the 30th. The movie is called Together. I have no idea, Mark. So Together, July 30th, Dave Franco, Allison Brie starring Together, which will undoubtedly be a major talking point of the year in terms of horror entries. The real-life husband and wife play a couple who start to experience strange happenings to their mind and bodies. The next movie is August 8th, called Weapons. One night, 17 children from the same classroom suddenly disappear after they are seen unwillingly running away from home. And the community is left reeling as they try to figure out what caused the children to vanish. August 15th, Jimmy and Stiggs. Eli Roth brings Jimmy and the Stiggs, a super colorful and super gory horror entry. Jimmy Lang is a filmmaker driven to an unhinged bender after a series of unfortunate events during which he is abducted by aliens. Well, thank you, Michelle. The Conjuring Last Rites, September 5th. And what will be the Warren's last paranormal case, The Conjuring Last Rites, tells the story of that Ed and Lorraine Warren retire as they help the Smurl family after they move into a house that started to show signs of demonic infestation. September 12th, The Long Walk, based on Stephen King novel. The Long Walk tells the story of a dystopian United States where every year 100 young men enter a contest and must continuously walk until they can no longer continue. And at that point, they are unalived. And then September 19th, a movie called Him. Him is about a young football prospect who is invited to train at the compound of a legendary quarterback who takes the young player under his wing and shows him the price of fame at the cost of his own humanity. The next one is September 26th, The Strangers Chapter 2. Okay, we all know that one. October 3rd is Keeper from director Oz Perkins. Keeper is the story of a couple that travels to a secluded cabin. And when the woman is suddenly left alone in the cabin, she is forced to confront a sinister presence, as well as a sordid past. Well, thank you very much, Michelle. Thank you. The first one was very good. I don't know if you guys have seen this one. October 17th, Black Phone 2. Ethan Hawke did a great job. The sequel to the original Blumhouse hit, Black Phone 2, follows the further exploits of Ethan Hawke's the Grabber. The sole survivor of the Grabber, Finn, struggles with life after his kidnapping. And despite the Grabber seemingly meeting his demise at the end of the first film, well, Finn's sister starts to receive calls in her dreams from the Black Phone. October 24th, Bone Lake. Two couples are accidentally booked into the same rental house for their vacations, and nothing seems as it seems, as the couple soon start to learn dark truths about each other. Oh, this one. from our TikTok, many of the TikTok trolls. Troll 2. There you go, trolls. There's a movie about you, Troll 2. And then, of course, December the 5th, Five Nights at Freddy's 2. It's a follow-up hit movie based on the extremely popular Five Nights at Freddy's video game. December the 12th, Silent Night, Deadly Night. That is the reimagining the 1984 slasher classic. So there we go. Those are some of the movies that are coming out, and you might want to take a look. If you don't, that's cool. And there we are. I'm going to close this out for everybody who is listening to this on podcasts. We say goodnight to you guys. Yeah, it's easier for me to close this out that way. And then, because one thing that I've got to do is I am really, really far behind on next week's night prayer. And I've got to update the website too. So there's doesn't never stop. So let me do this now. Okay. Sigurd Division. Well, technically it's open mic night, but I got to change that. Oh, well, thank you, Mark. Thank you for being here. Thank you, guys. Okay, for those of you who are watching this on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, and Rumble, remember I tell you always your value does not decrease based on a troll's inability or just refusal to see your worth. Remember, you're priceless, and don't let any troll tell you or convince you otherwise. Hopefully, I'll see you guys tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Bible study. Okay? Good night, everybody, and have a great night.